Well, firstly, thank you, Professor Huale, for inviting me. It's a great joy to be here. I just want to know how many students are here? All right, great. I'm a student for life. Yeah, so I really enjoy being with people who love to learn new things. And especially those moments when you learn things which kind of kills your sleep. So that was the first thing that I did when I got the brief for the keynote. Okay, I was like really tempted. Okay, let me ask ChatGPT to decode, okay, what is this brief? Because I don't come from an academic background, right? So for me, it was like, it took me time to really understand the essence of what is this conference all about. But with my limited experience, I'll try to share something which maybe you might relate to. And the next video, which you have already seen now, I wanted to have something like that, where something like what Trinity did. Okay, I had that technology, but maybe it does exist. ChatGPT maybe would have helped me to create this entire presentation. There are tools like deep fake technology where I can just superimpose, I can scan my face, and I can actually have a video of me talking to you, ready-made solution. But the problem is, I want to be in control, like the way I'm struggling right now. Yeah, I want to be in control. As an artist, as a designer, I want to be in control. And these technologies out there, they may not really help me. They can maybe aid me, but ultimately, as an artist, there are a lot of debates. Will AI kill art? Stable diffusion, it's an open source, everyone can use it. Mid-Journey. People are saying anyone can create art. The future is now there's a new profession which is called prompt design. You know what? Prompt design. You learn how to prompt ChatGPT, so you need to know, or Mid-Journey, you need to know what is the prompt. But you know what? Even that profession died in a day. Now you can actually ask ChatGPT to tell you which prompt to give Mid-Journey. That's how fast things are changing. So by the time you graduate, you don't even know whether the world has changed. When I graduated, I felt that I know nothing. And now today, as I stand, as a professional, I am looking forward to every new day with every new technology out there. Some of you might have already experienced this. As you work, do you start getting recommendations on what to buy? I'm super scared about Google, especially the assistant. In my office, I was just talking to someone about something, and the next moment when I start browsing, I start seeing ads of the same things which I was talking to my colleague. It's that scary, okay, how the walls are listening, yeah? So, getting recommendations based on not just your behavior, based on your conversations. Next slide. If you are looking for a place in Patiala, you want to find a place to stay, you don't even have to take that effort to go and step into a place. Like I work with a brand called Nestaway, and we were exploring technologies where how can you enable the customer, enable the house buyer or the one who wants to rent to know everything that is required before renting out a place by staying wherever they are. Those who have done house hunting know how a big struggle it is to move from one house to the next, right? But today, technology allows you to be wherever and experience the entire space. In fact, when my father-in-law once told me, okay, can you show me this place or that place to travel, I just gave him a small VR video, AR video, and he could just move around, and now he says, I don't need to travel anywhere. Next slide, please. This was the latest controversy which really intrigued me. This is in a museum called Mauritshuis in Netherlands. This is supposedly the most beautiful painting in Netherlands compared to Mona Lisa, the girl with the pearl earring. Okay, now what happened is recently in Ritz Museum, there was an exhibition and this painting had to be loaned there to showcase that. So Mauritshuis did a small competition, okay, and if you go to the next slide, you'll see that one artist created a version of the girl with the glowing earring, okay, and this time there are two, not one, and this was in fact showcased in the very same place that the original is usually shown. It created a huge uproar among the artist community. We can move on. So what do we see, like when we move from these different revolutions, right, from maybe the agricultural to the scientific to the industrial revolutions, when the first industrial revolution happened, yes, it was a game changer. It brought about amazing, faster means of production, all of that. But at the same time, it was still not maybe affordable to everyone. Everyone could not really get access to technology in terms of mechanization. But when the second industrial revolution happened, that was basically when electrification started happening. Everyone started getting access to electricity. In fact, even today, many places still don't have access to that. But it was a big jump. People started getting energy wherever they are, which could be used to do things. And finally, we are in the third industrial revolution where you have computing power. But what has happened is this progress has been accelerating at a great speed. And the reason is every time there's a new innovation, new technology that is used, people start building on top of that. Yeah? And if you can go to the next, yeah. So in the current technological revolution, which is the fourth industrial revolution, the four pillars that we have, it primarily starts with cloud computing, where all of you have access to any amounts of computational power that you require. You can be sitting here and you can have, you want whatever RAM that you want, whatever storage that you require, you have it in your hands. On top of that, everyone has got access to internet. You can be connected to anyone, like especially with the pandemic. Suddenly there was a huge boom in this area where even musicians for that matter, there were bands who could not really play together, who started finding means with fast internet speeds with reduced latency to come together, play together virtually. And what this has resulted in is big data. It's a natural result. All of us are, like, I'm assuming, on social media, when you are not in your class, and now all of you are assuming that there are things which are sensing you. Your Google Maps might be on. There is a lot of data being created with respect to your location, with respect to your every content that you're generating, what you like, what you don't like. And all this big data is out there. But now there's a big problem. A lot of this data is unstructured, so we can't make sense out of it. So how do we make sense out of it? We need a method to comprehend this vast amounts of unstructured data. And that's where AI comes into the rescue. In a way, it's like a natural progression. AI was important because we needed some way of managing this data. It's just a natural progression. But now, where is it leading us to? Next slide. It is helping us to collaborate with each other in a more effective way. It is giving us greater access to all kind of information. You don't need to really go to a library today. All kind of encyclopedias, everything is digitized. Everything is in your hands now. There are new ways of designing. Back in 2005 when I was coming out of NID, even then, that was around that time, NID had its own 3D printing lab. And I could find that my colleagues, as in fellow students, had already started shifting from hand-drawn mechanical drawings to define your plans and elevations, and they were already moving into software because they wanted to create digital plans so that it could be digitally printed. We are finding ourselves exposed and being enabled by new technology, and it's also helping us to be highly efficient. I know of people who work with print studios, who work with publishing houses, who have to do all these photo corrections and all of that. There was a time when people were experts in that, cutting off the hair. It's an art. You can't deny that. Someone who can cut a perfect portrait with curly hair in Photoshop, that was an art, highly priced. But today, you go to Photoshop has inbuilt AI to do that for you. Just say, detect the object, right? It will automatically do that for you. So it is helping us to be more efficient, but also, the next slide, it is also leading us to maybe lose our jobs. We find that this new technology either substitutes us or it can maybe extend our human capacity, or it can be a medium to connect with each other. Next slide. So I love this image a lot. I had seen this somewhere, and what do you see? You see a cameraman. There are some cameramen here, and you have a pilot. You know what? Today, both these people have lost their jobs because of the drone. Okay, they don't. It doesn't matter if you know how to fly a helicopter and you can hold a camera. Maybe I'll just now jump quickly. We can just run through. What do we see what do we see today is technology is now embedded within society. Yeah, and also now it's being embedded within our bodies now. Yeah, but and still that does seem very promising. Okay, we might be excited about it. But can we go to the next slide? But we also see that technology is also enabling artificial intelligence, which is kind of away from us. It is creating an external creature, and this is Sophia, who was granted citizenship by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It came to India, Chandigarh, Kolkata, and started giving talks like this, okay, and does a great job in that. Next slide. And what the fear is that soon we might find that we will reach this point of singularity, this point where artificial intelligence can learn rapidly, improving itself, and it will be beyond human control or human imagination. And it's not to scare anyone here. Next slide, please. And we think that singularity can solve a lot of issues, okay, all these technologies, but one problem that it can't solve is what we need to work towards is not just a technological revolution or a technological future, but also a techno-ethical future and also a techno-moral future. And that's one pursuit that as students, as academics, we need to do. Think about the moral implications and how we should not treat technology as separate from our values. And that's one area worth pursuing. Thank you.